petrified. We could be unified. But heaven knows I'm getting so much better every day. Yeah, baby, can't you see? As easy as ABC. We will carry one another on this path, yeah. Even though my feet are barely finding solid ground, I'm getting much closer now. We'll find a way somehow.
Is this you? Is this you when you say, I want to be more flexible. I want to be more mobile. I just want to feel better. If you find yourself saying yes, yes, yes to all three of those things, you are in exactly the right spot. Hi, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. This is your no judgment zone. You get to do it your way. I'll guide you and show you some ways to just feel better in your body. And I'll tell you how to tangibly measure it too as we get on with the practice. I'm here to encourage you every single day. Every single day we practice and every day is different. Oh, every day is different in your body. I'm sore today from yesterday's practice. Every day is different in your body and every day is different in our practices. We practice live every single day for 1 hour doing different things. Yoga, Pilates, bar. It's all designed to make you stronger, more flexible, more mobile, and feeling better. Today's practice is 1 hour long, and it's all down on your mat. You can sit through the whole thing. You can sit through any practice. You do it your way. Give yourself permission to do that. All right, we're going to start. No time like the present, right? Come into your child's pose. All right, get on down there for your child's pose. I'm going to send Piper away here. Here's the deal. You're going to take a child's pose, and we're going to have our props, our blocks, our strap. We're not going to waste any time, here and now. Knees together. Come on down with your chest to a block right here under your forehead. Arms down by your sides if you want. That is your classic variation of child's pose. But whatever you do, don't hurt yourself. You know, take the pose that feels good. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to take an option, an alternative to child's pose. That's with the knees spread wide, hips back to the heels, head on down to the block, or you don't have to use a block if you don't want to, and reach your arms long to the top of your mat. Let your chest sink down either to your block or to the mat. Remember, don't hurt yourself. If something hurts, back out of it. You don't want to hurt. If it's just uncomfortable, just take some time and breathe through this. Take some deep breaths in through your nose and deep breaths out through your mouth, and realize just being here on your mat is a victory. You know, just showing up, having that self-discipline to show up is a huge victory. Each day, just try to move a little bit more than yesterday. Each day, each breath, try to take just a little deeper breath. It's all good. Just settle in and enjoy your child's pose. All right, I have a question for you as you're taking your deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And you're settling into your child's pose, feeling the lengthening in your spine, feeling your hips go to the back of your room. Here's the question. When is the best time to plant a tree? There are two times. One is 100 years ago, and the other is now, right now. And there's our word for the day. Now means without further delay, without hesitation, under the present circumstances, under the existing conditions. So now is the best time to do your yoga. What are you waiting for? All right, let's rest in our child's pose here. Deep breath in, feel the backs of your lungs expand. And deep breath out. No rush, no hurry. Today's practice, as I said, is all on your mat. Appreciate the slowness of the poses. Appreciate the time spent in the pose. No rush, no hurry. Don't worry about what's next. Be in the present moment. That's kind of what we're talking about this week. being in the present moment. So what feels good for you? Maybe you have your knees together and your arms down by your sides and you want to reach your fingertips a little more to the bottom of your mat. Or maybe if you're in the extended child's pose, you're kind of getting into the shoulders a little bit. Maybe reach your fingers a little farther to the top of your mat. Maybe press your hands into your mat. That kind of helps send your bottom back a little bit. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Sigh it out. Let it go. There's a couple different ways you can breathe in your yoga. You always want to have deep breaths. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Audibly sighing it out, letting it go. Or the other way you might like is to close your lips. We did this yesterday in our vinyasa practice. Closing your lips, breathing in and out of your nose only, and focusing inward. Nothing wrong with that. Too much craziness in the world. Focus inward and find your peace. Stress number. We talk about that. Scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10. What's your stress number? Measure that we'll take at the end so you can see that your yoga works. Give it a number and we'll continue to practice. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take a few more breaths here in your child's pose and really accentuate the depth of your breath. See how far you can take it. See how far you can fill your lungs up and how far you can deflate them. No shallow breathing here, deep breaths, maybe one more cycle. All right, so this is your child's pose. Stay in it. Or if you want, you could take this a little deeper. I'm gonna lift one foot up, bring it on top of the other leg. You could slip a block under that top leg's knee. You could bring the bottom foot up also and rest it on the opposite knee. My knees don't bend that way, so I'm just gonna be happy with what I got. Nothing wrong with that. Settle in here. Hands to your knees for just a little bit. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Breathe in and lengthen up through the crown of your head. Breathe out and just soften in your hips and your shoulders. All right, you can close your eyes because you want to focus inward. Let's get into shoulders a little bit. As you inhale, lift your arms on up, extend them, lift them on up, up, up to the sky. So your arms are like in that extended mountain pose. Let your chest lift too. Don't collapse. Don't round your back. Lengthen up. And as you exhale, let your arms gently float on. Slowly let it feel good. Just feel what you feel. It's so nice. Inhale, lengthen up. Arms go up, up, up. Exhale, let them float on down. Soften in your jaws. If your teeth are touching, unclench the jaws. Just be soft. And there's beauty in the moment. There's beauty in the breath. That's all you got. Enjoy it. Inhale, arms float up. And exhale, let them go down as your shoulders feel nice and soft. Maybe one more time. This time, hold them up here. Stretch it out a little bit more. And then flip your palms so they're facing the front of the room. And hinge forward, kind of like that game, hands down. You're going to place your hands onto the earth. Your gaze is towards your ankles. Walk your hands out a little bit forward. Ooh, feel the stretch in your backside. I've got my right leg on top. I'm really feeling it in my right glutes. How about you? Breathe in. Breathe out. Remember the deep breaths we took in that child's pose? Continue with those here too. So big breath in. Maybe you can reach your hands a little higher to the top of your room. And big breath out. That's where the fun happens. Send your belly button back towards your spine. Ooh, and feel the depth of the stretch. All right, come on back up. Shoulders over your hips. Bring your hands a little bit behind your bottom, kind of like a kickstand. Lift your chest up to the sky and send your chin up there too. Look up right overhead. Make your chest nice and open and wide. Breathe. And then come back to a natural, comfortable seated position with your shoulders over your hips. Find a block. Actually, you could do both blocks at the same time. Bring one block or two blocks out to about arm's width distance, and then lean to one side. Take that block out farther. Top shoulder, let it be in line with the other shoulder, and just reach. Keep your bottom cheeks down. That's kind of a challenge. Hello to Liz and Diane, Lynn and Betty, Roger, Lisa, Kelly, Cindy, Margarita, Rena, Connell. How are you? Tyrone, Marietta, I know you're watching later on, so I'm going to say hi to you. All right, just reach, keeping both bottom cheeks down. Reach. Maybe push the block out a little farther. Deep breath in, deep breath out. All right, walk your fingers back in. Come on up, shoulders over your hips. Do it slowly. Take the other arm, reach toward that other block. Push it out as you lean in that direction. Top shoulder back. Stretch, reach, both bottom cheeks down. No rush, no hurry. Maybe you like the block at a different height. Maybe that feels better. Play with it. See what the difference is. Both bottom cheeks down. Remember that. That's kind of the hard part. Eyes closed. Soften in the jaws. Soften in the shoulders. Neck is long. All right, slowly bring it on back to the midline. Take a big breath in, and your big breath out. All right, switch out your legs. If you crisscross applesauce, maybe you send your legs long, or maybe you're seated in that thunderbolt pose where your knees are bent and you're seated back on your heels. Or if you're in Sukhasana, which I was, switch it out. Bring the opposite leg on top. Settle in. Bring the top knee on down. Maybe use a block underneath it. Hands on your knees. Shoulders are strong and over your hips as you sit up straight. All right, I got my eyes closed. Why not? So nice to focus inward. Minimize the distractions. All right, I'm going to take my arms, let them float on up, extended arms long, float on up to the sky. Lengthen up, reach up high like your extended mountain pose. Chest is lifted, not rounded. Chest is lifted. Exhale, arms float down to your side. Couple breaths. In, arms up. Jaws are soft, cheeks are soft. Exhale, float it on down. Both cheeks, all four cheeks, the cheeks of your face and your bottom cheeks. They are relaxed and on your mat. No tension there. I don't know, are you taking your deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose? Or are you breathing in through the nose, lifting up, and sigh it out as you float the arms down? You decide. All right, I think about one more will even us out. Lengthen up, reach the fingers good and high, float them on down. Get into those shoulders. Big inhale, arms go up. Flip your palms so they're facing the front of your room. And come on down. Keep both bottom cheeks down. Hands walk a little forward. We're going to take a moment here. Deep breaths in, your spine gets long. Deep breaths out, belly button to the spine. Both bottom cheeks are on your mat. Walk your hands a little more forward if you like. It's pretty intense, isn't it? I've got my left leg on top, so I'm really feeling it in my left glutes. Maybe walk the hands a little further forward or not. It's your call. Let your neck relax, gaze back toward your belly. One more set of breath. Feel what the breath does. Big full inhale, big full exhale. Feel it in your bottom. And come on up. Shoulders over your hips. Hands, kind of like a little kickstand. Just send your chest high. All right, come on back. Shoulders over your hips. That block, bring it on in, but this time bring them in closer. I'm going to have them nice and stable. I'm going to rest my elbow on one block. I'm going to reach the opposite arm up, 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 and reach it to the side of the room. So the top arm is reaching really far to the side of the room. I'm resting my elbow on the block. You don't have to use a block if you don't want to. You could use a half-size block if you want. You could also bring the block height up. Maybe that's better. You can bring it all the way up. You do. You do you. What feels good. Be mindful of that top shoulder. Don't let it collapse in. We want to open it up, send it to the back of the room. And if you don't have a block, you don't need a block. You could use your hand like an elevator. And bending the elbow adjusts to what is comfortable for you. Maybe not comfortable. Maybe it's uncomfortable. And that's okay, as long as it doesn't hurt. Stretch, reach. We're going to be here for a bit. Maybe sigh it out if it's tense, if you're feeling tension. In through the nose with the breath, and out through the mouth, let it go. Maybe you can reach a little farther. Breathe. Slowly, slowly, slowly come on out of it. And I mean slowly. Come on up nice and slowly. No rush, no hurry. Come back to the midline, your natural position, and just take a breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, bend the other elbow. Bring the fingers to the temple. Bring that elbow on down to whatever height block you like, or no block at all. Use your hand. It's all good. Raise the opposite arm up, up, up to the sky. Reach it to the other side of your mat, and you take it as far as feels right. Ooh, every little inch intensifies, doesn't it? Maybe bring the top shoulder back more. You don't want to collapse in. Chin away from the chest. Reach. And just for a moment, feel how the breath affects this pose. Big breaths in. I feel length when I breathe in. And big breath out. I just reground the body to the ground and just feel a little extra stretch there. You are flexible, you are mobile. Maybe it's been kind of elusive for a while, but it's there. You just keep working at it. And if you're not stretching very far today, that's okay. Something is better than nothing. Showing up on your mat is better than not coming. Having that discipline Maybe you're still in child's pose, and that's good. Reach a little farther, and then we'll move on. All right, let's finish slowly. Come on back slowly. Take it slowly. Come back to your natural seated position. Tee out your arms. Push the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Let your chest lift. Just let that feel good for a moment. We floated the arms up a lot and down. Now we're just pushing back. Now give yourself that big hug. Bring the arms forward and they're going to crisscross in front of your body. One elbow on top of the other. Elbows maybe meet, maybe cross a little bit as you reach your fingers towards your spine. Reach your fingers towards your spine. You're going to have your shoulders up by your ears. Now release them down. And then try to expand your shoulders to the side of the room as you give yourself a nice tight hug. Breathe. Just feel that goodness in your upper back. Nice stretch. Let's do it again. You can keep your eyes closed. Tee out your arms. Drive the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Feel your chest open up. It feels like when we do a fish pose on the blocks. Chest is nice and open. Breathe deeply. All right, crisscross the arms in front of your body with the other arm on top this time. Work your fingers towards your spine. Work your shoulders away from your ears. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. And then expand your shoulders into that hug, reaching the shoulders to the sides of the room. Your whole upper body feels it. Breathe in. Breathe out. How tight can that hug feel? And then, let's finish. Release your hands down to your knees. Lengthen up to the crown of your head. Let's do the neck a little bit. Eyes can still be closed. Turn your head from the right to the left. Just move it. I think of the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz, right? Oil can. Come on, move. Get things moving. Lubricate those joints. The neck. Don't become a stiff-necked people. Look over your shoulder or keep the eyes closed and imagine looking over the shoulder. Just move your neck. Bring your head back to the midline of your body. If it feels good, just let your head roll around on your shoulders as you do neck circles. If neck circles don't feel good, don't do them. Continue to turn your head from left to right. If neck circles give you a little bit of that vertigo feeling, open your eyes. Maybe that will help. Just move your head around and around, whatever feels right. And if you have those little crunchies in your neck, as long as they don't hurt, it's okay. You know what's best for you. All right, finish up. Bring your head back to the midline of your body. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let it go. Come on out of your pose, whichever pose you're in. Come out slowly. Oh my goodness, the ankles really feel it here. We're going to have the ankles really feel toes pose and ankle pose in a little bit too, but let's do cat-cow. Let's get into the spine. Okay, so here's the deal. Come to a neutral tabletop. You can put a towel under your knees if they don't feel good. Neutral tabletop, fingers pointing forward, tops of your feet are on your mat. Push hard into your mat. Push hard into your mat so you feel like you're a really strong, solid table. Lengthen through the crown of your head and send your tailbone to the back of the room as well. Press into the earth and cat-cow pose, Halloween cat. Tuck your chin to your chest. Tuck your tailbone under, arch your back up to the sky. Press the tops of your feet and your hands pretty strongly into your mat. Inhale, cow pose, tailbone and crown of your head lift. Couple more cat-cows to your pace. What feels good for you? So just really think about that tailbone tucking under and then lifting up. And you're moving your neck again. You're moving your neck, just like we moved it a little bit earlier. You're going to tuck your chin to your chest in your cat. And you're going to bring your chin to the front of your room in your cow. Move your spine. Move. You know, the body is so wonderful. It responds so favorably when you just give it a little bit of motion. That's all it craves. And you know, the beauty of your yoga is that it'll make the whole rest of your day better. You'll walk better. You'll play pickleball better. You'll run better. You'll jump higher. It's all good. Keep up with your cat-cow. Keep up with your yoga. Don't give up. Never give up. Slow it down maybe, but don't give up. All right, one more really good cat-cow. Big full breaths, really feel it and accentuate it. All right, come back to a neutral tabletop. Let's twist the spine a little bit. Extend the right leg long. Press the ball of the foot into the mat. Kind of like you're getting ready to run here, like you're on the starting line of a marathon. And every day we're on the starting line of a marathon, right? The marathon of life. Push the ball of the foot into the mat. Feel that good depth all up the back leg. Cross the leg over the midline of the body. Squeeze high in the upper inner thighs. Place the ball of the foot down on the opposite side of the body. Turn your head and look back to your foot. Look over your shoulder. See your foot, see your ankles, see your bottom, see your shoulder. Whatever you can see. Really take that twist. Feel the goodness up the right side of your body. Hold it here. No rush, no hurry. You got it. Big breath in, big breath out, big stretch. Maybe you can see a little farther today. Maybe you normally maybe barely see your foot. Maybe you can see your knee today. We did that nice big side stretch. Maybe that's allowing you to do more here. All right, let's bring the right knee back to meet the left on the mat and do the other leg. I'm going to extend the left leg, press the ball of the foot into the mat. Real big press here. Feel what you feel. Feels good in the foot, all the way up the calf. You can feel it all the way up into your glutes, can't you? Press, and then cross the body. Cross it, plant the foot, look over your opposite shoulder, back to the foot, maybe to the ankle, maybe to your bottom. See what you can see. Push into the earth. Both hands equally. Twist a little more. Press the earth away. Best prop is our own body and the ground beneath us. All right, bring the left knee back to meet the right on your mat. Let's do thread the needle for your shoulders. Okay, grab a block if you want. You can use it lots of different ways. You can have it under your chest or under your cheek. You decide. Send the right arm, sweep it up to the sky and twist. Look up to your right hand. As you exhale, remember, full exhale, bring that right hand underneath the left arm like you're threading a needle. Right palm is up. Slide the arm to the side of the room, while your other arm, your left arm, is reaching high to the top of your mat. Maybe sink your cheek down to the mat or to the block. And adjust your legs. Everybody's height and torsos and thighs are different lengths. So adjust. Maybe you need to bring your knees a little farther apart or closer together, but bring that right shoulder down towards your mat. Right hand is palm face up. Left hand is reaching long to the top of the mat. Here is your thread the needle pose. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Feel it in the shoulder. So you've got thread the needle pose. You've got a broken wing pose. Sometimes we do that. I think that's a little more intense. And if you could do this throughout your day too. If you don't want to get down on your mat, you can press into a wall. You've seen people do that. Press into the wall with the shoulder and stretch it out. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's come out of this. Unthread the needle. Slide the left hand back under the left shoulder. Right arm goes up to the sky. Take a little twist. Look up to the right fingers. Bring the right hand on down. Other side. Got the left arm now. From your neutral tabletop position, lift your left arm up to the sky. Twist. Look up to it. And then thread the needle here. Right arm reaches long to the top. Left arm is reaching to the side. So your arms are kind of like in an L shape. Bring your left cheek down to your block or to your mat. Feel the goodness in the shoulder here. Breathe in, breathe out. I want to tell you something about the shoulders. Frozen shoulder. One of you yogis had commented to me that you couldn't raise your blinds anymore. you know, the motion of grabbing the string, the cord, and then pulling them up. You just couldn't get your arms high enough, but you started doing yoga, and it improved, and you can lift your blinds now. So here's the deal. Little by little, these improvements happen. And also, the other way is true too. Little by little, you lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. So continue with your yoga, whatever yoga you do, to keep you more flexible and mobile. All right, so there's a good, nice thread the needle pose. Let's come on back. Right hand under your right shoulder. Left arm reaches to the sky, look up. Plant the hand. Left hand next to the right. All right, so you did your cat-cow, you did your thread the needle. Let's now do toes pose. Here's the deal. For your toes pose, we're going to do toes pose and ankle pose together. They complement each other. Move your foot in one direction, move your foot in the other direction, so to get a nice bend in those ankles. You can use your blocks. If you want to, come to standing on your knees, tuck your toes towards your shins. You could have a seat on your block. That's a great way to do your toes pose. You could also have a seat back on your heels with your blocks by your sides. No blocks, you can still do this. All right, so here's the deal. Sit into your toes pose, rest into your toes pose, maybe hands on your thighs or at prayer center. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. If you really want to get into the shoulders again, if they're feeling super mobile after doing that thread the needle pose, bring your hands behind your back, bend your elbows and reach for opposite elbow creases. There you go. And a deep breath out. Maybe close your eyes and just feel the good stretch in your feet. But try to find, maybe tranquility is too strong a word. Try to find tranquility and peace in just identifying what your path is. What your path is for your yoga. Maybe it's a full toes pose. Identify your path. Maybe it's the yoga 3 days a week, or maybe it's twice a week, or maybe it's every day. But identify your path and stick to it. And there's comfort in routine and self-discipline. You know, just make the adjustments. Don't think, oh, I can't do the yoga, but make adjustments here and there to make it work for you. Maybe you got to take a breath or two and bring the weight out of your heels. But just make those little adjustments. It's so important to just make it work for you. You do the yoga to feel good. You don't do the yoga to perform or to put yourself through pain. You're doing it to feel good, and just be focused on how you feel. Don't be hung up on how, oh, it should look this way or it should be this way. No, it is exactly how it feels good for you. And don't ever think, you know, I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing it right. As long as it doesn't hurt, and you feel what you feel and it feels good, you're doing it exactly right, because you will feel better. Just trust yourself and let silly expectations go. All right. How are you doing in this toes pose? Is it time for ankle pose? I think so. All right, come on out of it. Bring your arms back to the front if you had them behind you. Wiggle them, shake them. Place your hands down. Now bend your ankles so the tops of your feet are on your mat, and have a seat back onto your heels. This is like a thunderbolt pose. You can use your blocks to walk on back, or no blocks at all. You can use just your hands and walk back, keeping your knees together. Come on up onto the tops of your feet. So big stretch in the ankles. I hope that feels good for you. You know, your foundation, your feet are your foundation. We say it all the time. So important to keep your feet healthy. So important to keep that mobility in your feet and your ankles. All right, so maybe lean back even more. What feels good? What feels right? Maybe you feel like you want to challenge your balance a little bit. Maybe you bring your hands to prayer center. Just kind of a little preoccupation as you stretch the ankles here. Hold it, let it feel right, let it feel good. And then let's come out of it. Rock on back to your neutral tabletop position. All right, be kind to your feet. Lift your feet up, squeeze and scrunch your toes, circle your ankles every which way. Oh, they feel so good. And then tap your feet out on your mat. All right, let's take a brief pentacle pose, a favorite pose. This is such a good pose. Come on down to your mat, spread your legs wide. Come on back to fully reclined. However you want to get here, take it nice and slowly. Arms up overhead. Enjoy the getting here. Enjoy the journey. Arms high overhead. Spread your arms, spread your legs. Come into like a capital letter X shape in the body. Breathe in, breathe out. I think pentacle pose is such a treat. It's a resetting pose. just kind of lets you kind of regroup. It brings everything back to equilibrium, to the midline of the body. No stress, no strain. You know, if it doesn't feel so good to have the arms raised so high, put a bend in the elbows. Don't think I can't do it. There's ways around it. Maybe you think like a snow angel and scoop the arms down just a little bit if that feels better. No rush, no hurry. You do what's right for you. If the arms are down a little bit, maybe after a couple breaths, you can bring them a little higher. Do whatever works for you and feels good. All right, pentacle pose. You can stay here longer if you like. It is a wonderful pose. I am going to press on up and I'm going to take a seated forward fold. Nice for the low back. All right, so press on up. Legs are long. Bring them together at the midline. Bring your toes up toward the sky. Lengthen up through your spine, and then exhale, fold forward. Just reach for your feet. No rush, no hurry. You don't have, yoga's a healing art, not a performing art. Don't think, oh, I got to do it this way, got to do it that way. Reach for your calves, maybe your ankles. Breathe in, let your spine be long. Breathe out, let it all go. Maybe bring your chest a little closer towards your knees. Inhale, try it again. Your belly pushes against your thighs, so it brings you up a little bit. And exhale, belly button to spine. You get to fold a little bit more. You get to fold. You get to do your yoga. Not you have to, you get to. All right, come on back up, shoulders over your hips. Spread your legs wide this time and bring your blocks between your legs. Toes up toward the sky. Your blocks are between your legs at whatever height works for you. They're your tools. You make them work. Maybe forearms down on the blocks. Lengthen up through your spine and try to bring your chest closer to your blocks. Maybe you remove a block. Maybe you bring your forehead to your block. So many ways to do it. What feels good for you today? And I hope that as you do these poses, you just kind of think a little bit about it. Think in that, what are you feeling? Think about what you're feeling. Set aside the doubt. Don't say, oh, I can't do that. There's no way. Just breathe deeply and just feel what you feel and really enjoy the feeling. And I hope it feels really good. All right, stay here if you want. Always give yourself permission to do that. I'm going to come out of this and I'm going to do boat pose with a strap for the core. Oh my gosh, I don't know about you, but after those chaturangas yesterday, my core is sore. Okay, here's the deal. Legs are long, just like you did that seated forward fold. Take your strap, put it under your feet, and lean on back. All right, so you're holding on to the strap like reins of a horse. Bring your elbows in, straighten up through your spine. Don't round in the shoulders, lengthen up, and lean on back like you're in a recliner or a beach chair. And then bring your feet on up. Hold it here. Let your chest lift toward the sky. Gaze up maybe to where the ceiling and the wall meet and just hold on here. Yesterday we did our boat pose without the strap. Always an option if you want to do that. You know, throughout the week we just do it different ways, just to introduce you to how to do it differently. And you know, every day is different. So maybe today you really want to do it with the strap. Maybe today you really want to do it without the strap. You make the call. All right, let's bring the heels on down. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Sit up nice and straight. Let that feel good. And then let's remove the strap. Okay, all right, here you go. One of the things we do just about in every practice is we do a 1-minute plank. It's up to you if you want to do this or not. It really helps improve your strength because everything's engaged. Your call if you want to do it. If planks are new to you, here's an idea. Just come on back down to your back. Maybe take your blocks and press them up to the sky. Imagine that you're in a plank position. Staying right here is fine. Don't worry about another option. Remember child's pose? with the knees spread wide, arms reaching long to the top of your mat. Hinge your weight forward so your weight is more into your arms. You can stay here on your knees. Fold your mat over if the pressure is too much on your knees, or put a towel under your knees. Totally fine to stay here for a minute or however long. You don't have to stay for a minute. We set a 1-minute timer just so you can, evaluate your progress if you're into that. Elbow under shoulder, forearm pressed into the mat. You can take a forearm plank. Knees can be down, toes can be tucked like you do in toes pose, and you can pop on up into a straight board-like position for your plank. I'm gonna take high plank. Let's set a timer, Dwayne, and let's get going. All right, so here's the deal. 1 minute, let's go. High plank. I'm gonna have my shoulders over my wrists. My feet are hip width distance apart. I'm gonna push the earth away, gazing between my thumbs, looking between my thumbs, holding here, pushing the earth away. We are 15 seconds into this pose. So, a little bit of suction cup in the fingers to take some tension out of the wrists. You could also ball your hands into fists if that feels better. For your wrists, you decide. Hold it here. We're over halfway done. Over 30 seconds. You decide. Options are, if you'd like to send your hips high to a down dog to take a little break, that feels good. You could also slip to your knees. That's fine too. For these last 10 seconds, give it all you got. Push the earth away. Feel everything engaged from your core all the way through your arms, your legs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Come on down. All right, there is your strength pose for the day. Boy, when we were sitting in that Sukhasana, you were probably thinking, oh, neck circles, nice and gradual. Little did you know, we'd do a plank. It's all good. Maybe you did a full plank. Maybe you did a knee plank. Maybe you were reclined looking up to the sky. Give yourself credit. All right, there's your plank. A couple more things. Let's come down to our bellies. That sounds good, doesn't it? Arms reach long, think Superman. Arms reach long like an extended child's pose. Legs, give them a little space. Wiggle around, maybe lift one leg, then the other. Maybe feel your hip bones on your mat. Head is down, nose is down toward the center of your mat. We're gonna lift the legs first. Maybe today you lift one leg, then the other. And that's what you wanna do. And that's what you stick with. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You do what feels good. I'm gonna lift both legs up. Then I'm gonna lift my chest up, and I'm gonna lift my arms up too. So fly like Superman. So you're kind of sort of maybe balancing on your pelvis. Hold it here. Reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. Stay strong and hold it. Breathe. You got it. Now bend your elbows. Bring your hands under your collarbones. Bring your legs on down. Press into your hands, which are under your collarbones, up into a seal pose. So you look like a seal. All right, arms are straight now. Soften in the glutes. Easy to keep nice and tight. Soften in the glutes. Find space in your hips. Gaze forward. Let's take it a little deeper. Come on up to standing on your knees. Place your shoulders over your hips. Bring your hands to your low back. Push your belly forward, pushing your hips forward. Elbows, squeeze them towards your spine so you feel nice opening in your shoulders, because you got the opening in your shoulders because we did thread the needle, right? It's all getting better. It does get better, and the key to getting better and doing more is doing it more often. Push your hips forward, look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe look higher overhead. Breathe, take a little controlled camel pose here. Breathe in, breathe out. Think of your chest going high to the sky. And finish. Come on down. Sit back on your heels. Is that more accessible to you now? In your thunderbolt pose, tops of the feet on your mat. Maybe grab a drink of water. It's all good. You've done a lot. It's kind of fun. Sometimes after the practice, when we're reviewing what we did, we'll scrub through the practice real quick. And you think, oh, I just moved a little bit. Didn't do much. Yoga doesn't do much. There's a lot of movement that you will have done, and you really see it when you zoom through it. Maybe you really feel it in your body too, and that's good. All right, come on down to your back. Banana asana. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was Monday, we did that half crescent moon pose. Come on down to your back, take it slowly. So this is really similar. It's called banana asana. You bend your body like a banana shape, and it kind of looks like that half crescent moon, but you're reclined. Palms touch, thumbs cross, arms high overhead, biceps near your ears. All right, maybe point through your toes. Breathe here, lengthen up in this stick pose. Take it to banana asana. So take your heels, the two heels, bring them to the right corner of your mat. Oh, I'm starting to feel that already from my hips down to my left pinky toe. Then my arms, which are reaching high to the center of my mat, I'm gonna let those arms kind of come to the top right corner of my mat. Bend your elbows if you need to, that's fine. But do two things for me here, please. Keep your left hip down on your mat, don't let it pop up, and try really hard to keep that left shoulder down too. It doesn't matter how curved your banana shape is. What matters more is keeping that shoulder back and down and keeping that hip down. So feel this nice big stretch all up your left side of your body. Breathe in, breathe out. And then bring it on back to the midline. Heels at the midline, arms at the midline. Stretch it out in your stick pose, big stretch. Work your heels to the left corner of your mat, or just a little further left, whatever's right. And same thing with your fingers, keeping your right shoulder down, keeping your right hip down. Don't roll over onto the side. You kind of defeat the purpose here. You want to just get that nice big stretch up the outside of your body. Breathe in, breathe out, soften in your jaws. Don't sweat it. If it's painful, back out of it a little bit. If it's just uncomfortable, maybe embrace that feeling. All right? There's your banana asana on that side. Bring your palms, your hands back to the midline. Bring your legs back to the center too, and then bend your knees. Bring your arms, let them float down by your side. You know that feeling. Let them float down to your side. Knees are bent, soles of your feet are on your mat. Your two blocks. If you got them, have them close by. So we're going to do a bridge pose and then a pontoon pose. So you can do this with no blocks at all, but the blocks enhance it. All right, soles of your feet are on your mat. Push the weight into your feet and let your hips lift up. So we're going to hold this bridge pose. Send your hips good and high. Wiggle your shoulders closer to your spine. Now, if you want to take a restorative bridge pose, you could take a block and put it under your bottom. Keep it low on your back and rest here. You can do that. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just giving you some options so you can modify your practice and make it super doable for you. All right, push the hips higher, push into your feet, lift, lift, lift in your bridge. Nice work. Now, lower your spine down. You could keep the block under there if you want to rest and restore for a little bit. Lower your spine one vertebra at a time, all the way down to your mat. Bring your tailbone down last. Really try to practice and perfect this. Spine down, then the tailbone down. For your pontoon pose, I really like this one because it stretches your hip flexors. You can take one block or two blocks. Two give you a larger surface area. Press back up to your bridge pose with your blocks in your hands, and then put your blocks under your bottom. As your blocks go under your bottom, then rest on those blocks. Now send your legs long on those blocks. Adjust the blocks so it feels right. Maybe you need to go higher, lower, whatever feels good, where you feel comfortable and supported, and you get this nice good stretch here in your hips. Arms down by your sides, breath in, breath out. So other days of the week, like I said, we do different practices. Check them all out. You can do every single one of them from start to finish. Find the self-discipline to do that because you are going to modify it. Maybe you stay in child's pose the whole time. Maybe you stay in pontoon for the rest of your pose, but you make it work for you. Don't ever say, oh, that practice is too hard. No such thing, because you modify it to make it work. Not everybody can do every pose all the time to whatever perfection is. There's no such thing. You move your body to feel good. All right, so stay here in your pontoon if you like. I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to pop on back up to a bridge pose to remove these blocks. Practice that rolling the spine down one vertebra at a time. It's all about control and it's all about mobility in the spine. Lower it down like it's a pearl necklace, one pearl at a time, keeping your belly button tucked. Your spine is longer than you think. Really keep the belly button tucked until you are all the way down, and then release your tailbone. How is that? Find your strap. All right, find your strap. Send it the center of the strap underneath your feet. Send your legs high up to the sky. Using this strap, just like you did in your boat pose, send your toes higher overhead, hug your elbows in. Nice stretch here. Put a little bend in your knees if that feels better for your bottom. Breathe. I'm going to release my left leg long onto the mat. So my legs are kind of like an L shape. The leg that's lifted, I'm going to hold the strap in my right hand. I'm going to open it up to the pinky edge side of the foot and let it come down toward the earth. Doesn't have to touch, you decide. Keep both shoulders down, breathe. Bring the leg on back up to the sky and then let the big toe side come toward the earth. I guess I got to move that chest. We're still trying to figure out how to get this squared away. Bring that foot toward the earth. You're rolling onto your left hip. Maybe you tee out your right arm and you look right. And then bring it on back up and open it again to the opposite side. Maybe tee out your arm and look to your teed out arm. Leg goes up, other leg joins it, readjust, give it a little tug. Right leg down, same thing, other leg. So pinky side of the foot or big toe side first, it doesn't matter. You're just creating an arc over your body here, like a little half. Working the foot up. Breathe in, breathe out, enjoy the use of the prop. And if you don't have the prop, it's not nearly as much fun. But you could let the leg go one side, then the other. Remember, tee out the arms if you like that and twist in the opposite direction to which the extended leg is going. And then let's finish. I think we did more on that leg than the first one, but that's okay. All right, bend your knees. You got your props, your eye shades up near your eyes. One more time, pop your hips up to a bridge pose, push into the earth. And when you're ready, one vertebra at a time, try that again. Lower it on down. It's time for your final Shavasana. Legs go long on your mat, feet spread, heels to the bottom corners of your mat, arms float down by your sides. Shoulders away from your ears, cover your eyes with your eye shade or your towel. And let it go. Let your pinkies go, pinky toes go toward the edges of your mat. Soften in your jaws. Breathe deeply and rest. Come back to your breath in the here and now, in this moment. Shoulders are soft, really resting on the mat, away from your ears. Your body is heavy, and you are at peace. If you have your remote control nearby and you want to stay longer in your final Shavasana, which is a really good thing to do, just hit pause on the video. If it is time for you to wrap up your practice, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, circle your wrists and your ankles. Inhale, reach high overhead and stretch it out. Exhale, bend your knees and your elbows, roll onto one side or the other, fetal position. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Slowly float your whole body up. We floated the arms earlier. Let's float the whole body on up, the torso on up. Crisscross the legs, hands to prayer center. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Open your eyes. You did it. 1 hour long practice. Stress number, what was it? And more importantly, what is it? Go back to those 3 questions I asked in the beginning. Instead of saying, I want, how about this? I do feel more flexible. I do feel more mobile, and I do feel better. It's all good. See you on your mats tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow is a wonderful restorative practice. See you there. Tell your friends. Love you guys. Bye. Hey, you. You're still here, and I'm really glad for that. Keep this in mind. The path is made through repetition. Keep showing up, and good things will happen. You know that. I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Tell your friends what the yoga's doing for you. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and they can join in anytime from the privacy of their own home. Tell them about our practice, please. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stay on your path, enjoy your yoga, and have a great rest of your day. See you on your mats tomorrow.